Baseball is a strange game. Now, this person would have been a little bit better. Ellis Valentine, Andre Dawson, Warren Cromartie, and eventually Tim Raines would have been held back for the Montreal outfield of the mid to late 70s, early 80s. But in his big shot with Montreal, although he was a good defensive player, he really wasn't doing it with the bat. Eventually found his way to Houston. It was a big part of their 1981 playoff run where he had 20 at bats against the Dodgers. But ladies and gentlemen, he passed away May 25th in his hometown of Cincinnati. But a very well respected player and coach in his career. So we have to be talking about the great Tony Scott. Now born Anthony Scott, September 1851, played for the Expos, Cardinals, and Astros between 73 and 84. Now, a long shot to make Major League Baseball. He had a good career at Whitrow High School in Cincy. They selected Scott, get this, ladies and gentlemen, in their first draft in 69, 71st round. He eventually signed with the Expos. After 5 seasons in their farm system, he received a September call up to the Expos in 73. He appeared in 11 games as a pinch runner and received only one at-bat in which he struck out. He spent most of the 74 season in the minor leagues, receiving a September call-up and batting 2 for 7. Now, despite the lack of experience in Major League Baseball, Montreal was looking to improve their team before the move to Olympic Stadium. They named Scott their starting center fielder in 75. Unfortunately, he only batted 191 with 11 runs batted in and no home runs through the All-Star break, and was replaced in center by Pepe Manguel for the rest of the season. He spent all of 76 for the AAA Denver Bears, batting .311 with 18 stolen bases in 106 contests. Now, his speed on the base paths kept his career going. Montreal packaged him with Steve Dunning and Pat Scanlon to the Cardinals for Bill Grieve, Sam Mejias, and Angel Torres in November of 1976. Now, all 3 players coming to St. Louis had spent the 76th season with the Denver Bears, which were led by recently hired Cardinals manager Vern Rapp. Now, Scott batted .291 with 3 home runs and 41 RBIs in pretty well his rookie campaign, sharing playing time with Jerry Mumphrey during his first campaign in St. Louis. After falling into the fourth outfielder role in 78, he was given the starting center fielder job in 79. He responded by hitting 6 home runs while driving in 68 runs and stealing 37 bases, all career highs. A lot of people felt he was going to get those numbers with Montreal, but the home run power and the RBI power wasn't there, and therefore Valentine, Dawson, and Cromartie were the choice in Montreal. Now, they eventually traded Scott to the Astros for that's a name for the past, Joaquin Andujar on June 6, 81. He was hitting .227 and admired for a 2 for 43 slump at the time of the deal. He had also fallen behind Dane Orge and Tito Landrum on the team's outfielder depth chart. Now, Scott batted .293 and provided a steady glove in center field in the Astrodome in his first season in Houston. He was a starting center fielder again in 82, but after batting .239 with 1 home run and 29 RBIs, he was relegated to a 4th outfielder role in 83. Released by the Astros after hitting .190 in 25 contests, he returned to the Expos 2 weeks later on June 29, 1984. Now, in 89, he joined the Phillies organization as a minor league coach, and again, he joined the major league coaching staff for the 2000 and 2001 season, and a very respected baseball mind for sure. Now, again, passed away May 26, 2004, at the young age of 72. Now, career 2,803 at-bats, 249 average, 253 RBIs, and a stellar 125 stolen bases. So, not say the speed was there, especially in those years in St. Louis. We'll go over this in a second. Now, that season in Montreal with 143 at-bats, only 11 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. Now, St. Louis first season hit a strong 291 with 13 stolen bases, 14 RBIs. 78 basically cut in his playing time. He batted .228, but here I think is his best season. 152 hits, 22 doubles, 10 triples, 6 home runs, 68 RBIs, 37 stolen bases, but caught stealing 17 times. Bad for the strikeouts, though, 92 that year for a .259 average. Now, when he found his way to Houston in '81 in that shortened season, he had 22 RBIs in 55 games with 8 stolen bases, 293 average. Now, in the next season, again, the stolen bases was there, but the offense was there only at 239. So he's returned with the Expos. He had a solid 254 in 79 contests, 5 RBIs with 1 stolen bases. So a typical season for him would be 40 RBIs, 3 home runs, batting 250 and 20 stolen bases. But Scott had speed to burn. And ladies and gentlemen, we always thought Scott was always a little bit better. Like if you could have turned into a 10-60 man with 30 stolen bases, I think in Major League Baseball in 2024 would be a good fit for the Blue Jays or the Washington Nationals or the Expos. Somebody can bat like good outfield, 60 RBIs. Get the key 2-run single every once in a while. But Tony Scott, a very handsome man, very popular with women in across Canada when he played with Montreal, and he's got a passing resemblance to a little bit of Ozzie Smith. So it's kind of weird because when Ozzie came to the Cardinals via San Diego, and when Scott left for Houston, it was like, it was almost like this the same visuals with the same player. But like I said, not the biggest player in the field, but what helped him too as well. You need a good switch hitter. Name me a major league player now as a switch hitter. It's not very common in a major league roster, so I'll leave it at you as it will. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Montreal Expo tribute podcast, especially to those who are part of what he called the first big era of the mid 1970s, let us know what a like, comment, subscribe, or share. I know it's been pretty rough from an obituary standpoint in recent weeks. We've had a lot of great athletes pass away. Larry Allen yesterday. What we try to provide here is kind of my look at some of these great players when I saw them live or whatever. But what really worked with Tony Scott, he was liked by the Quebec media quite a bit. CBC French, CBC English. He was always a good interview, and I think in the old Jerry Park, I think Baylor Moore was pitching one night, and they happened to talk to him before the game. He said, when you only have 3 starting pitchers, he asked about Baylor Moore. He said he's not a starting pitcher yet. He has to pitch more than 5 innings on a regular basis. He wasn't scared to say it because he supported his teammates in a way, saying you got to play better to stay in Major League Baseball. He should know. He was, kind of jerked around in St. Louis as well. A lot of people felt that Jerry Mumphrey wasn't a better player than he was. You never really get that chance in a full season like we thought he would, close to it, but not enough. So, to me, if you play 10 years in Major League Baseball, you got to be pretty good. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are around the corner. And don't forget, keep your stick in the ice. Have a good one. Bye.